5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't even know what's happening.
Put it in sport mode, and you're gonna fly.
Just exactly how awesome was it?
The mighty Nissan GT-R.
You got the Mustang, the Camaro, the Challenger, the Corvette, the Viper.
America.
Damn, I forgot the bananas.
I love this. Yeah, we'll do it live. Live. Yeah, we'll do it live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Thursday. That means it's time for the TopSpeed.com podcast. TopSpeed.com is your internet home for all the crazy cool and automotive things that exist in the ether. I am Christian Moe. Welcome to the show. I am joined today by our editor-in-chief, Justin Kepler. Hello, Justin.
Hello, guys. How's everyone doing today? Did I really just ask the collective we how everyone is doing?
I was about to say, I think
I'll answer for the collective we. We are doing good.
You're doing just fine.
everyone who's watching was like,
Nope, I'm doing just fine. A couple dollars later after my AC blew up, but I'm doing fine.
Oh, in your car or your house?
My house.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
yeah, if the AC blows up in the car or whatever, his car's a convertible.
Yeah, put the top down. And I can fix that. I can't fix a house.
All right. Also, joining us is Mr. Mark McNabb.
That's right. I'm here. I'm kicking. I'm alive and well. I'm ready to talk about some SEMA stuff.
A.K.A. Al Borland.
Hey, this is a manly shirt.
That's an Al Borland shirt. We're gonna start.
You know what? Al Borland's a manly man.
Tool time, man.
You know, not only did he work on a show called Tool Time, he's incredible with his hands. He can build all kinds of things. He loves power tools, and he has a hell of a beard. I mean, those are all manly things.
Yeah, we always seem rather sensitive on the show.
I'm a sensitive kind of guy. You know, I take care of my girl and all that sort
Real
of
men
stuff.
have emotions, right?
Keep them under wraps, you know.
And orange straws.
Okay,
No.
so anyway,
Yeah.
that degraded quickly.
Whatever. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome again. This is the TopSpeed.com podcast. We're going to talk about some car stuff because, you know, that's what we usually do.
Sort of.
We're going to start out with our Weekly Wheels segment. This one's kind of short and weird because nobody loves me and Justin, and we don't actually have cars this week. But Mark had a Lexus RX350.
That's right. And it was just like the last Lexus RX350 I had, except it's not a hybrid. And, you know, I like this one so much better just because it didn't have the hybrid stuff on it. It just seemed to work a lot better. It was just a lot more smooth, and I had a lot more power, and it was just nicer all the way around. I don't know. It just seemed like this one was just more well put together or something like that. But very, very comfortable crossover. It had a lot of room front and back. It had plenty of cargo room in the back area. You could lay the back seats down. It had that same Lexus Inform infotainment system with a little joystick controller thing, and you know, it works pretty good. I mean, once you get to understand how to use that, it's second nature, and you know, it drove pretty good, and it would do burnouts. Not that I did that.
The hybrid would
Never
not.
you.
No, the non-hybrid. But yeah, I mean, I got some decent mileage with it too. I think what did I come in at? Now that I said it, 20.5. That's right at the 21 combined from the EPA. So I mean, it's not terrible.
Well, it's terrible, but it's close to sticker, which
It's not terrible
which is cool.
compared to sticker. Yes.
Yeah. It's weird how awkward those Lexus products are. Because, like, so the 350 hybrid is worse than the 350 gasoline. The Avalon hybrid is better than the Avalon gasoline.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't call it better, but this was just a better driver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoy not having that extra stuff to have to worry about. It just me, an engine and a transmission and 2 drive wheels, and that was it. You know, the region braking wasn't there, the engine shutting off wasn't there. It was a more normal driving experience, and I value that. Now, for somebody who wants an RX but needs a little bit better gas mileage, sure, get the hybrid. That's fine. You're not losing anything. But,
Except all of your money.
Yes, because it's kind of expensive. But
Outrageously expensive.
yeah, I mean this it was a nice car. I really liked it. The build quality was fine. The only issue I had ergonomic-wise was if the car is in park, and you know how that gear shift is kind of at a weird tilt angle inside the center stack, you can't, as a driver, control the temperature controls on the passenger side. Now, for the passenger, it's okay, but for the driver, you kind of have to reach around the gear shift to click up and down on the little buttons. But if you're in drive, it's fine. If you're the passenger, it's fine. It's only when you're the driver and it's in park and you're controlling the other side. Everything else is fine. So
why are you in part controlling the passenger side climate control?
Good question.
well, when I get in the car and I realize that my girlfriend has left, or fiance has left it on 90 degrees, and it's like,
well, but then
holy
you just
crap.
but then you just hit the sync button, the little button that ties both temperature gauges to the driver's side.
Yes, but then I have to get into climate settings and then do that.
I thought the RX still had the sync button next to the temperature controls.
Nope.
Oh, see, God, stupid things are stupid.
You got to get into the system. But yeah, really, it's not hard. It's just one extra step when I just want to immediately click, 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 done.
Yeah, okay. That's
You know what I'm saying? I like buttons on the dash.
I like buttons on the dash, too.
Yeah.
I
Buttons
want
on the
more
dash are
more
nice.
things. Yep. All right. So since that's our only weekly wheels, I want to talk about my 911 again.
A little obsessed there?
Well, so for starters, the review finally went live yesterday, day before, sometime this week. I don't remember.
Sometime.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
I remember clicking published at some point.
Between
Right.
Monday and now.
There,
It's
yeah,
live.
there was a point in time where it has come out, and you guys can go read it. And it's just, I can't stop thinking about that stupid car. I can't. I want it. And I don't know why I like it so much, because on paper it's retarded. It's 350 horsepower. It swallows gasoline. There's no interior space, and it's obnoxiously expensive. There are an entire handful of machines you can get that are better in every single way on paper, and I don't want them. I don't want any of them. I want the 911. I want it now. I want two of them.
You gotta like go on the floor and start screaming and punching and holding your breath.
I do. Like, I'm just yes.
Give it to me now!
God, it's so good.
Well,
it just
okay,
has that
so-
weird something that you can't explain that just makes it better, that just makes it good.
soul.
Yes, in some weird... Except, no, because it's very mechanical. It's very German. Like, even the exhaust and the things you hear in the engine don't sound, like, soulful and angry like a big block V8. They sound very mechanical and very tuned and very precise. But it's all just good.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
mean, it looks like
I understand where you're coming from, though. I understand. Because this week, until yesterday, I was in a car that I can't stop thinking about either, and that is a Mercedes GLA AMG. And
I
it
wanna
was
drive one of
loud
those
and
too.
ruckus and crazy, and I sorely miss it. A lot. And if I had $55,000 to $60,000, I might throw it away on that car.
Hearing you talk about that thing makes me think it's like the Fiat 500 Abarth, but it doesn't
is.
suck at being a car.
Yes, you're right. And I'm in the process right now of writing the review, and I literally said that. I said, this car reminds me of the 500 Abarth in almost every way. It's fun, it's eager, it's exciting, and but
It doesn't
it's
suck at
plenty
being
of
a
room.
car.
Yes. In fact, I said it in the review. I said the only thing the Fiat 500 does better than the GLA is parallel parking in downtown New York City. Like,
Well, because it's
That's
14
it.
inches long.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like I really did enjoy this GLA a lot. So
I was a little more than a little jealous when you're like,
Yeah,
guess
when
what
you-
I've got.
When you wrote GLA on the chat we had, I know you were talking about the AMG. I was like, oh, okay, GLA. I'm a little bit jealous, but yeah, no, I'm very jealous.
no, yeah, be
I'm a little
jealous.
bit upset that you didn't call me and let me know. I would have made that 40-minute drive.
Oops. Well, I have a 200S if you want it now.
I'll get a Chrysler and drive it.
Hey, to be fair, the 200S is the nicest Sebring in 30 years.
Well, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah, but no, yeah, twin scroll, turbocharged, 355 horsepower,
Wait,
all-wheel
don't-
drive,
don't-
dual clutch, 7-speed.
Stop. Don't go into it too much just for next week's show.
Yes, but next week I want to talk about it too.
Okay.
Just like you talked about your car for 2 weeks in a row.
But I had a 911!
I had a Mercedes.
God,
God, we're such children.
That's part of the 911 thing too, and that's in the review. Is so for you, the GLA is like a Fiat 500 Abarth that's better in every way.
Yeah.
The 911 is like a Miata that's way better in every way. So it has that same sort of magic and feel of a Miata where it's all about like the steering's great and the shifter's great and the clutch is great and the seats are great and the things that make driving great are perfect. But you've got lots of extra space. It's beautifully built. It looks like just the most amazing thing. There's tons and tons of trunk space. It has lots of fancy equipment in it. It has way more horsepower. Like, it's a 911 turned up to 11 and a bit. Or sorry, it's a Miata that's turned up to 11 and a bit. It's just, oh God, it's so good. It's so good. I want one. I actually called my press fleet manager to ask him what was going to happen to that car and if Porsche would sell it to me. I want it that bad.
Did you really?
I did, and he said, you called me a day late. It went to auction yesterday.
That's good for you. That's good for you because you would be homeless on the side of the street.
No,
driving.
it's bad for me because he did give me all of the contact info for the auction company that's handling the car. The good thing is, when I called the lady, she didn't answer.
You don't want that car. You don't want it.
No, I do. I do. With every little fiber of my insides.
You actually said yourself before you never, ever buy a press fleet car. Never, ever.
No, because
You're better off going to a rental company and buying the car than you're buying it from one of the ones we've beaten the wang out of for the past.
And I would still buy that 911.
Well, you know, Christian made a good point the other week, and I think that it rings true. It was like, you will never find a car that's more pristinely cared for than a press fleet car. And
you'll never
oil
find one
changes,
that had its clutch burned out quite as well as a press fleet car.
Well, but they replace it. Like, they fix everything. Like, I'm not going to say exact cars or who's been driving them, but I do know of actual press fleet cars that have had entire suspensions completely redone while they're still in the press fleet. Pulled out for a week, have clutches replaced, have suspension put in. Like, if it's broken, they fix it.
I am not bad on cars. Like, seriously. I don't know what these people are doing. Anybody listening, you know, manufacturers, I love your cars and I treat them with respect.
Yeah, I think I treat them pretty well. I don't do anything insane with them.
I treat them with 99% respect. I did do a burnout in the 911 in a gravel parking lot because you can't do it on pavement.
Yeah, and you took a video of it and put it on the
slow motion using my freaking GoPro.
We should move on.
Yeah, well, but I want to talk about the slow motion burnout real quick. It's at the end of my overview video, and the GoPro does 120 frames per second, so it's 4 times slower than real life. And it's in this big gravel lot, and the car started to twist a little bit as I took off, so it actually flung gravel like right at the camera. It's an awesome shot. Go check it out.
All right, I will.
All right, so yes, fine, we'll move.
Porsche's gonna go check that out too.
Yeah, and they're gonna
again. I was the last one to have it. It's gone from the press fleet, and that was the only thing I did bad to it, and I didn't beat on it. And Prestige, the company that handles our cars, makes sure to put all of the fancy plastic films on all of the nice cars so that you can't ding them up and scratch them with gravel and stuff like that. So
it's no fun.
I didn't do anything crazy or stupid with it. But yeah, let's move on to not on video. We're going to go ahead and move on. So, news this week. We actually have a lot of news. I know it's SEMA, and some of the stuff we're going to talk about is SEMA stuff, some of the stuff is not. But we're going to start out with fast stuff and mostly keep it going with fast stuff for the whole show. Justin, talk to me about a new super duper limited, ultra extra limited edition Ferrari.
Yeah, so if anybody remembers back in the 2013 Geneva Motor Show, Ferrari and, I'm always bad with this name, Pininfarina, got together.
Perfect.
And wow, I actually did it right that time. Got together and made this wild and crazy, insane concept with no windshield, a big pointy nose, and this massive, huge roll bar over the back end. And everyone said, "Oh wow, it's gorgeous, that 458 Italia engine," and "Wow, it's wonderful, awesome. Okay, now take it to the crusher or put it in a museum, one of the two." We all just kind of sat back, not thinking anything of it, and then a report came out just this week. That turns out they're actually going to build this insane thing, and they're selling, I'm trying to remember how many pieces it was. I think it is 6. Yeah, there's 6 of them they're selling for $3 million.
No. Let's be honest. It's not selling. It's sold.
Yeah, well, yeah,
They sold 6 pieces.
They called 6 super rich Ferrari owners and said, "Hey, you got $3 million bucks? Yes. I got a car. Here."
I mean, they might have ended up calling 7. There might have been one guy who went, "Well, no, I just bought the F60 America. I'll pass on this one."
Yeah. But apparently from what I understand, it's all kind of wishy-washy because we know how Ferrari is with the special edition cars. They're not really open about everything until they're completely done, sold, and it's a year later and they're now in museums somewhere. But it appears as if most of the concept stuff is going to carry over. The basic body style is going to carry over, but it's going to get a windshield. We do understand that because, well, to be road legal,
yeah,
US, UK, you have to have a windshield. And things like the weird opening doors, I don't know if those will actually make it, but judging by the shape of the body, I guess they'd kind of have to make it.
Yeah.
But it's just a really cool story altogether. It's actually going to be built kind of like they did with the Veneno Roadster, Lamborghini, how they made this wild concept and said, "Okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and produce it now." They're going to go and do this, and probably in the next year or so, some real pictures are going to come out. The actual numbers are going to come out. But for now, we're figuring it's going to be just a basically modified Ferrari Italia 458, like 560 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. Good enough.
Yeah,
and very, very awesome looking.
I would drive that.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a really good looking concept, and I think once I get a windshield on it, it's going to look a little more proper. You're going to actually see an A-pillar, and it's going to kind of take a shape. The concept for
I don't know. I think it might end up being a windshield that's just barely a DOT windshield.
Like inch-high one?
Yeah, well, because it just has to be X amount of square inches to be legal. So, like, the Catfish kit car it's like 3 inches tall and like 14 inches wide, and they're at a front angle, and there's 2 of them, so you hit like this maximum size limit of what you need for a windshield. And if you buy like the Ariel Atom, it comes with like this octagonal piece of plastic that you put right in front of the steering wheel, and that's a DOT legal windshield.
Yeah. That's wild. But, it's a wild-looking concept. It'll be cool to see one on the road, but they're probably going to go, pay their $3 million, put the car in the back of a truck, take it somewhere, put it in their garage, and never, ever, 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 ever drive it. Unfortunately. That's what sucks so mad about people that buy these cars. They just park them.
Well, so with most Ferraris, that makes me sad, but at the same time, there's only 6. Like, there is only 6, and all it takes is one idiot in a minivan on a cell phone to make it 5.
Yeah, but still, it's so gorgeous. It needs to be on the road. Well, not gorgeous. I'm not gonna call this thing gorgeous. I'm sorry. It's
no.
Unique. It needs to be on the road.
Everybody needs to see it. It's not pretty.
No, it's unique.
Unique. That's the right word.
Interesting.
That's a really rough word. I don't know why I said gorgeous. It's unique.
So let's talk about something that is maybe pretty. We don't really know because we don't know what it looks like, but it will be very fast. Mr. Mark.
Well, if we are talking about that video that Ford released about car that we don't know what they're talking about, then
No,
yeah, we're talking
we
about
totally
that.
know. It's going to be the GT350.
Of course it is.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, so the other day Ford released this video with all the Ford brass talking like, oh yeah, you know, Ford racing has been such a heritage, and while they're talking, and they've got all this stock footage of like old Mustangs and you know, Torinos and stuff like that, like, you know, tearing up the track, and then in between they've got like these cuts of shadowy figures of like, you know, big wheels and 3 pedals with aluminum covers and Ford powered by Ford valve covers and all this crazy stuff, Alcantara, and it's like, I wonder what they're talking about. And then at the end of the video, it has this silhouette of what looks like the end of a roof line that flows into a deck lid, like right at the trunk, and it says November 17th, 2014, and it's got that old school GT350 font that it's in. So
It's a Ford Fiesta.
pretty sure that's not what it is. I'm pretty sure the GT350 is coming out, and we've already seen it on the road. We've already seen the video of it, you know, not being able to start on the side of the highway. I mean, so it's gonna happen. It's already living up to its Found on Road Dead name. So, just kidding. So yeah, I think the Chevy Corvette or the Chevy Camaro ZL1 and the Hellcat Challenger are gonna have some competition coming up pretty soon.
See, I'm still not sure about if it being a challenger to those. I still think it's going to end up being more of a Z28 competitor. I mean, we've seen this car bombing around.
I don't know.
We've seen them doing the tests at the Nürburgring. They talk about their Ford racing heritage. I think it's going to be more of a track-focused machine like the Z28 than it is more of an all-out powerhouse of the ZL1.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I'd say it's probably going to be reserved for the GT500. It's probably going to be the big boy that's going to have all the go-fast bits.
I almost think they're going to be combining their 2 last-gen Halo cars. So last gen we had the GT500, the 200-mile-an-hour Mustang with the big supercharged V8, and we had the Boss 302. This seems like a melding of the two. They're going to make a track-focused, you know, performance-oriented machine like the 302 with more power, like you got with the GT8.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. But from a marketing standpoint, you know, the Z28 is over the ZL1, even though the ZL1 is better in every way except for track, you know, handling. So,
except the ZL1 isn't better in every other way except for track handling. It's better in one way, more horsepower. That's it.
yeah,
That's not every way. That's one way.
Everywhere. That's all that counts.
In America, all that matters is it has a lot of horsepower and goes straight really fast.
Yes.
Well,
but
this is still
it actually
going to have
has
that.
But it actually has a trunk liner. It has back seats. It has a stereo that's worth more than what's in the Chevy Cruze, and it has half shafts that aren't made out of tin. And I mean, the ZL1 is
half shafts save weight.
Of course they do, but as soon as you get on it and pop the clutch, they twist in half.
Meh. It's a race car. It's a race car. I want race car more than I want. Look at all my horsepower sitting in my driveway as I wash it.
I want the horsepowers so I can do donuts around your race car as it sits on the side of the road with broken half shafts.
Okay, so Ford, Chevy, you have heard what's going on. First, we need a GT350 and a Z28 to do a track comparison, and then Mark needs a ZL1 and I need a Z28 so I can prove to him just how superior that 505 horsepower naturally aspirated LS7 is compared to his giant, heavy, stupid lump of supercharged. Who the hell cares?
Yeah, well, when your 580 horsepower ZL1 outruns your 505 horsepower LS7, you're not. Yeah. Oh, it'll do it. It'll do it.
Okay, maybe on Gator Alley, not out here in East Tennessee.
Wow.
No,
Would you guys like measuring sticks?
Yes, a big one. I'm
Mine
getting
will
a
fit on
big
the
measuring
screen.
stick. I need like a 6-mile long measuring stick. All right. Anyways, let's
I'm wearing a flannel shirt. Problem solved.
Batman, ho.
Oh, that's a nice child's toy.
Okay, you know what? Let's move on from the Ford super awesome race car and talk about a Mazda super awesome race car. So Mazda has this cool thing they do every year called the MX-5 Cup. It is a one-make racing series. It's one of the best racing series to get into if you're new to racing or you want to get into racing on a relative budget that's like legitimate racing. Mazda sells these cars fully prepped. It's a spec racing series, so everyone uses the same car with the same specs, the same tires, all that sort of stuff. So it really separates who's the better driver versus who has the better car. It's always been a U.S. thing, but now at SEMA they just announced their brand new MX-5 Cup car that's based on the ND platform, and it's also going worldwide. This year, next year, the MX-5 Cup is going to be in Europe and Asia as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, super cool. So the car looks like $1 million. It's the ND with a full body kit on it, bigger, lighter wheels that, stretch the edges of those arches, and they look awesome. There is super cool livery that is white and black stripes that follow all the new curves of the new body, really accentuate everything. It's got a full roll cage built in with sides in it and all solid white powder coat. Looks great. Interior's been completely stripped. Floors now have metal plates in them instead of carpets. There's no passenger seat. Huge fire extinguisher, giant racing seat. Steering wheel, the stock one is gone. There's a new Alcantara steering wheel with an LCD in the middle of it for all your racing info. It's a full-fledged, straight-up race car, and it's awesome.
Oh, this thing looks like $1 million. I'm just flipping through all the pictures. Looks absolutely beautiful.
Right, and just having those paint stripes follow the curves of the body really shows off how pretty that new car is.
I still don't like the tail lights.
The curves that aren't there?
No, they're totally there.
Like the guy at the Duran Duran concert. Yeah, we left this space blank right here, like the original, and we didn't want to do anything with this. Did I extend
That's just down the side, but the car still has hips over the fenders.
I still have an issue with the taillights. That's the only part of these pictures I don't like are those taillights.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
It's Jaguar.
Okay, oh no, Mark. I think you look too much like Brad Pitt. Oh man, these taillights look too much like the F-Type. Like, how is that a terrible thing to say to somebody?
I think they just look goofy. I don't think they look like anything. I think they look goofy.
Yeah, I think they're fine. They're fine.
I think the whole car is beautiful, and I love it, and I want it. Mazda, send me one, thanks.
Oh, send me one, please. But
no, because you think it's ugly and you hate it.
I did. I said it's gorgeous. I just don't like the taillights.
You hear that, Mazda? He hates it, and he thinks it's stupid. He's going to give a terrible review. Don't send it to him. Send it to me.
You know what? Chances are I'm going to be the first one of the group to get it. So.
You know what? I'll just start making some phone calls and having some things adjusted. Yeah, Justin's got the Ebola flu.
Ebola flu.
He can't go to your press event.
He's got Ebola flu, syphilis. Yeah.
Anyways, also good news for everybody who's not in America who's going to be getting this car. It is coming only with the US spec 2-liter. So everyone's going to get the bigger engine. They still didn't tell us how much horsepower it's going to make. They didn't mention if there's going to be any upgrades to it over the stock motor. They didn't give us any real suspension details. So all of the go faster bits are still under wraps, and they're still not telling us anything other than it's going to be the 2-liter Skyactiv engine that the North American cars have.
Do we know when those details are going to come out?
I think it's LA, right?
Never. It's just going to be never. They're just going to sell the car and be like, how much horsepower does it have? They're going to go, I don't know.
I think they're going to release it in LA. I'm pretty sure that's what they said in one of their press releases. But I'm just so curious. Why are they being so coy and hush-hush about its power? They know how much horsepower it has. They know how much horsepower it had a year ago when they.
I know why. Do you know why? Because
I do.
Right now we're talking about it.
Exactly.
No, so through the grapevine, word has been whispered that they don't actually know yet. They've got targets and they've got goals, and they're actually still tuning the damn thing. It's not done yet. So we want this much power, and then they do testing, okay, that doesn't work for this and for this and for this and for this. So then they adjust everything again, and it's still not set in stone, and so they don't want to be like it's going to have 185 horsepower, and then it comes out with 180. I think that they should go. It should have. I think what they should have done is it's going to have at least X number, and then just keep aiming higher, and then if they get higher, then they're like, oh, by the way, this has more horsepower. But yeah, currently...
Hellcat.
Yeah, that's what they did with the Hellcat. And it was awesome. It was like, hey, more than 650 horsepower. Yeah, 707.
No, it was more than 600.
Yeah, more than 6, yeah.
More
Just
than
a little
6,
bit.
which means more than 7.
We were not good at math.
The thing
We rounded up.
The thing that Hellcat had going for it that the Miata doesn't is even when they went more than 6, everyone went, holy shit, that's a lot. It's only going to have probably 601. If the Miata went more than 150, everybody goes, well, it damn well better.
Yeah,
That's very true.
According to press release I'm looking at, they're talking. There's going to be a reference exhibit at the LA Auto Show for the Skyactiv engine.
Okay.
What our technology exhibit? What if that means power? But I'm reading the press release now.
We can only hope.
Well, maybe, just maybe.
Yeah. All right. So we still don't know power, but that's the thing.
It's still cool.
Should we stop talking about slow cars, or should we stop talking about fast cars or race cars, or should we just like keep it going with the crazy fast?
No, I want something. I want to talk about something.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
A Corvette. So everyone and their grandmother knows that I grew up around a 1971 Corvette Stingray and how it was just the most beautiful car in the world. Well,
yeah,
I just love the C3, especially the early year when they had the hard tail and hard front, and it just it just
68 to 72 is the sweet spot for that car.
And with the big LT1 hood or the 454 hood, it just looks right.
LT1 hood, that's the one.
Yeah. Well, anything besides the 350 would get the raised hood. The 350 just had the flat hood with the little like thing.
Right.
And so this car it looks fantastic. Well, Chevrolet, in order to celebrate the arrival of the new Corvette C7 LT1 V8 coming into the E-Rod series, and the E-Rod is where you can buy the engine, and it comes with the engine, all the hookups, all the wiring harnesses, the computer, it's literally, you drop it in,
it's emissions legal.
And
that's
it's emissions
the big thing
legal.
about the E-Rod, emissions legal.
You throw it in your car, whatever you have, and you are literally able to drive all 50 states, and you know the engine's going to work. So anyway, the LT1 is now in their E-Rod series. Well, they dropped it into Jimmie Johnson's 1971 Corvette, and it looks fantastic. Oh, it looks fantastic. Like, holy crap, I want this car so bad. Because, it's got the LT1, so it's making 460 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. It has a sport exhaust with a dual opening. It's got direct injection, variable valve timing, and six-speed manual transmission. I'll just stop talking.
So
holy crap.
If I was this is essentially my dream car. It's just the wrong color. Like, I have said for so long that when I have all the money in the world and I'm going to get like the car, I want a 71, and I want it with I want modern bits under it. I want a resto rod car because the old engines are fine, but mostly they're shit. I want new horsepower, I want new suspension, I want new brakes, but I want that beautiful old 71 body, and I want it in Elkhart green. The only question I really have, though, is now that they've announced that the LT1 is in the E-Rod series, is when Flying Miata is going to put one in a Miata.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, Christian, I'm going to make you sad. I'm going to make you really sad because this car was Elkhart green.
What?
Yeah, and they painted it.
Why the hell did they paint it?
I don't know.
Such a rare color.
I know. Well, actually, it's not. I looked on the build specs 471. Elkhart green had 3,000 or some odd cars built in 71 that were Elkhart green.
Right, but
more than any other color.
But Elkhart green was only like 68 and 71. Like, that's the only 2 years they ever made that color. So there may be 3,000 1971s that have that color, but that's it.
It was a pretty car. It was a pretty good. Well, my thing is, though, this is the same color as my dad's car, and that makes me happy. It just looks right. I like that gray color.
I have breaking news. Sort of breaking news. Upcoming video game The Crew for Ubisoft, very cool racing game. They're having a beta, and I just got invited to the beta. So we might have playtest and video news on the crew coming up soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's special.
You know what? Let's do more fast cars. Since Mark went ahead of schedule and talked about the old car, I'll save my old car for later.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, go check out the review because there is a time-lapse video of them building the car, and then another video of them debuting it, and you see it driving on stage. So do that and leave a comment.
Justin, talk to me about something with the name Lister.
Yeah, something a little bit crazy. Lister, the British sports car company, decided they want to get into hypercar building. So they released this very, very wild rendering of what looks like a car that's about to swallow something. It smells like So it looks a little funky. I'm sure that's not going to make it. That's a little weird looking. But the big news
the back.
is... yeah, I didn't even get a look. Oh my God, yeah, that's disgusting. Okay, so the front and the back are horrible. The rest is okay. But the big news is.
That's what she said, right?
Exactly. The front and back.
Justin, tell me the important part.
The important part is.
They're never going to build it.
No.
That's the important part. That is the most important part.
It's going to have a whopping 1,000 horsepower out of a 7.8-liter V12.
That's the best.
With no hybridization whatsoever.
Now, Christian, I think this is where you come in saying, it's too much horsepower.
No, too much power. Come on, Christian.
No, because I like how absurd this is. Because this is a hypercar. This is not a machine that was designed to be used as a car. This is a thing that's designed to look beautiful and then explode.
Yeah.
1,000 horsepower is perfect for that.
But yeah, they're talking somewhere in the range of £2 million. That's like $3.2 million. That is, if I'm doing my math right, about 2.5 Bugatti Veyrons, I think, somewhere in that range, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it depends on the normal Veyron or the Super Sport.
The normal Veyron's what, 1.3, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so that's like 2.5 Veyrons. Yeah, not the Super Sport. I know that's up over 2, right?
I think it's 1.8 for the.
Yeah.
I don't know. All the money. It's just all the money.
Yes, you just take
it's just all the money.
What it'd be like to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to buy a $3 million car today, guys. What'd you do today, Bill? Oh, I went and bought a $3 million hypercar. Where's it at? I don't know. It's in my storage center somewhere.
It exploded on the way here because of
So you have to check out the article. Justin, look at the comments, and someone left the perfect picture.
Yeah, the big fish lips. I just scrolled down and saw those.
Oh my gosh. Who did that?
That's
Rob O'Hurdy.
Rob O'Hurdy. Yeah, I think he's given us some questions in the past.
You're a good man.
Yes, you win the internet, Rob.
Yeah.
I'll get you a gold star. But yes, but $3.2 million, 1,000 horsepower, over 250 mile per hour top speed. But the question is, will it ever be produced? Probably not, because Lister is not a big company. They're not really. They're big enough, but they don't make things like this that often. So
I think it'll get made.
Maybe one or two.
Well, because Lister's a British company, and as we all know, Brits are very plucky, and they all seem to be kind of idiots when it comes to businesses. And even if it drives them bankrupt, they will make at least one of these things.
That is rather true. I mean, Lotus is still somewhere flopping around.
Right. This will get made. It will ruin our company forever, but we will make this because we will.
But yeah, who knows when it's going to be made, if it's going to be made, and how many will be made. But it's god awful ugly, but it's super, super fast, and I want to drive it once and not burn it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
All right, let's go back to old cars. So if I was going to build a car that would be like my daily driver, and it was a thing that I wanted to have all the time, like I said, it would be a 71 with a new engine. At the same time, if I wanted to build the most ridiculous thing in all of the world that would be the best thing to have, I would build what Ken Block just got. So we all know Ken Block and his Gymkhana series, and he has his Hoonigan Racing Ford Fiesta all-wheel drive rally car. Well, he decided he wanted something a little meaner and manlier, so he's teamed up with Ford again to build a 1965 Ford Mustang with all-wheel drive and 845 horsepower.
That thing is sheer insanity.
And it's got a fucking set of velocity stacks through the hood. Like, it's everything that you want. It is there. It's got this ridiculous body kit on it, these huge, obnoxious gold wheels, this giant, flat, like, old-school NASCAR just lip spoiler, just boom, crammed onto the back of it. It's, So, top speed, we're guessing 200 miles an hour. We have listed on our piece of a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds. But if this is anything at all like his rally car, that 0 to 60 time is actually closer to like 2.8 seconds.
Yeah.
So he's running a 410 cubic inch engine that Roush has built. It's a V8. Like I said, there are individual velocity stacks for the throttle body sticking out of the top of this thing. There's a huge scoop just mounted on top of it. 845 horsepower, 720 pound-feet of torque. It is just all of the things that are awesome. I'm trying to find a size for the wheels. Okay, so 10.5 inches. Is running 18-inch wheels that are 10.5 inches wide on all 4 quarters.
With all-wheel drive.
With all-wheel drive. Like,
That is nuts.
This is a Mustang that will eat planets. Like eat planets.
Make the Earth turn backward.
So yeah. Again, the car I would want to have and to live with and to drive would be the Corvette. The car I would use to scare people off of my lawn with is this one. Like, I would put a nitrous fog system in it so that it just blows NO2 slowly out the front end in big foggy clouds, and I'd put red headlights on it, and I would just chase people.
Yeah, like it really looks like something that belongs in some weird, scary movie that comes from some junkyard to eat people.
Yes, and it's the best ever. We have no price for it because obviously this will never be sold, but also almost every single piece and part of this car is custom made. It is a stock body shell, and that's about it. The all-wheel drive system, the chassis it's on, the engine, the suspension, all of it is bespoke. This thing cost millions of dollars to make, and it's just good. It is all things that are right with the world. And
I didn't read the article, but I'm sure that they built it out of like reproduction body parts. I hope they didn't scavenge a real 65 for this.
I don't know if they did. The fact that
Surely they just ordered a bunch of parts, like fenders, hoods, roofs, doors, and put it all together on a tube frame.
I mean, it is all on a tube frame, but Ken Block is Ken Block, and money is money, and he has all of it.
But yeah, this thing does look pretty awesome.
It's cool.
The one thing that I don't like, and it seems like I've seen this a lot at SEMA this year, is these super wide fenders that don't go all the way around the tire.
Oh yeah, I saw that on that.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't like it.
Well, I mean,
but the rest of the car is really cool.
It's just to keep the rocks from being thrown around. So the fenders on this one, at least for the back tires, start at the bottom of the body. Oh yeah, it's also got side exit exhaust just in front of the rear tires, because of course. But the extra wide fenders go all the way out there on that side. Just they don't fall all the way around the back.
Yeah,
so that
and have the front too.
Right, but that serves a purpose for what he does, because this is gonna be it's Gymkhana stuff, so lots of gravel and dirt and rocks, and you don't want to get all that mud and junk and anything crammed up in there. You don't want it to get stuck, so it throws it all at the back. Also, it looks great in video shots when you slide past the camera and you're throwing all the gravel out, because this is a Gymkhana car. This is for his Gymkhana 7 video that's going to be coming out at some point. So you want to make the video look as great as possible, and having extra smoke pouring out of the holes where the fender wells go will be good. It's visually pleasing.
All right, I'll listen. I'll entertain that argument.
All right, let's do. It is SEMA. I'm going to talk about one of the sort of worst things that not really worst, but something that annoys me that I found at SEMA. I'm sure you guys have all heard of the band Kiss, one of the largest hard rock bands from the 70s of all time. Big boots, Gene Simmons with his tongue and the makeup, and I am a fan of the band. I've seen them in concert several times, but when they do things that are not music related, I get a little iffy. So the lead singer of the band is a man named Paul Stanley, and he has a Corvette that they put out at SEMA, and it's a weird metallic burgundy paint that looks kind of pink in certain lights. It's got a stupid, obnoxious, like silver chrome top on top of the dang thing, and he made the entire front chrome grille, so it's got these big old ugly teeth just staring at you. Otherwise, it's a freaking dead base Corvette. LT1 with the sport package, so 460 horsepower, and like that's basically it. He's put different wheels on it that are big and gaudy. He's got this weird silver paint on the top of the car, on the lift-back hatch, on the mirror caps. Well,
I will say that the grille in this car looks like the concept Corvette that we saw, the mid-engine Corvette that we saw like 2 years ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but I think it looks terrible here. Like this looks, it's just
looks...
a giant chrome slab on the front of this car.
It's like Lil Wayne's car.
Yeah, he's just a grill.
Or Flava Flav or whatever. One of those guys.
Right, and again, it's all exterior changes that are all for the worse.
Yeah, that's my thing about SEMA.
Performance changes.
Yeah, that's my thing about SEMA is a lot of these cars are straight just exterior things. GM is really bad about that too. Like all the trucks they brought, they're all painted differently and they have different wheels and whatever. That's kind of all that is to it. Some of their trucks were pretty cool this year.
Right, but I mean, it's like the stuff that he's done to make it look worse. The only thing that I find kind of interesting is just above the rear tire, there's like a star symbol with like it's like a little, hey look, Paul Stanley Star Child thing. But he even picked the automatic transmission. This is a base car with an automatic transmission. Like, I know you're 64 years old, Paul Stanley, but seriously. No, I don't need any extra horsepower. And can I get the automatic? My hip acts up with the manual clutch.
Okay, so you don't like that Corvette, and Mark, you say that GM brought nothing but show stuff. But there was one GM, and it happened to be a Corvette that I actually liked at SEMA.
Oh, the blue one?
Yes, the blue one with the Z06 bits.
Yeah.
That was a cool idea. And
no, I'm thinking of a different blue one.
No, okay. So Justin, the one you're talking about is the one. It's a base C7, but they put a bunch of Z06.
They put the Z06 package on it.
And that is to help sell these, the GM Performance Parts catalog and be like, hey, you can do this to your car.
Yeah. And I thought it was kind of cool. They put the ground effects from the Z06, the spoiler, even the undercarriage bits, some of the suspension bits, the carbon fiber braces, the brakes, the carbon ceramic brakes are optional. I think it's a pretty cool idea to show off, hey, this is what you can actually do with your C7 if you can't afford the Z06.
Or you can wait 3 years and they'll sell it to you as a Grand Sport.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Well, that's what the last Grand Sport was. Is it was like the wide body kit and lightweight fenders and all that sort of stuff.
Z06. Yeah. But Ford is doing the same thing in a transition. They have done the King Cobra concept, and same thing. Took a base Mustang GT, but they put all these parts on it that are in their parts catalog. So if you want to do this to your Mustang, you can do it. And here's an example of how things can turn out. This thing has got these massive Hoosier tires in the back and little bitty skinny tires in the front for drag. It's got a massive rear end in it, and it's got some extra horsepower. So, I mean, they're saying, hey, have fun with your car and do what you got to do.
The Mustang's always been really big about that sort of, like, the aftermarket for the Mustang is just insanely massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
When you said blue Corvette, I was thinking about the Blue Devil.
Yeah, that was there as well.
Yes, so many of you probably remember there was the giant tragic incident at the Corvette Museum where there was a sinkhole swallowed 11 Corvettes?
8.
Was it only 8? A bunch, and it was all very, very sad. At first they said that they were going to restore all of them, and then many of them are pretty much unrestorable.
Yeah.
But they have pulled out a couple, and like these ones are going to be restored. And the first one to get the full restoration process was the Blue Devil Corvette, which was the Corvette ZR1, the new C6 generation Corvette ZR1, one of the first ones built. It was in that beautiful blue color. That one was fully restored, and it was brought to SEMA, and they had that shown off. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and looking at it when it came out of the hole, it didn't look like it was that damaged, but there was some considerable damage. It had a lot of the carbon fiber bodywork around the base of it was all torn up. It had a rocker panel that was pretty much shattered, and had a couple oil lines going from the dry sump system to the block. Those were ripped, and the driver's side rear control arms were all mangled up. So
and the paint was a big issue because this is the only car painted in this special shade of electric blue, so that the car had to be completely disassembled and completely repainted.
Yeah, they repainted it.
So yeah, but it's together.
Now that you said that, I don't know that that's true. The ZR1s had this pink color.
They offered it in a blue. I don't think it was this exact shaded blue. It was one of those how like Velocity red is different than whatever red and whatever red. I don't know if it was extra metal flake or whatever, but I'm pretty sure like at the actual Blue Devil Corvette that this one was painted with a slightly different shade of blue.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Because
I remember the Motor Trend test that they did with the ZR1 and the then new Viper. It was this color Corvette. So
right, I think they might have painted some of the press cars in this color blue. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway,
I will have to look into it. I'm glad you brought that up, but I'm fairly certain that like the actual shade of blue they sold it in is slightly different from this blue. Not by a lot, but enough for them to call it a color.
Anything else going on?
Anyone else have any extra SEMA stuff they want to discuss?
Let's see. Oh, I will say that Chevrolet did one of their trucks they did bring was pretty cool. It was the Desert Runner concept or whatever like that. Basically, they took a standard Silverado High Country, and then they put on like this Avalanche-looking addition on the bed, but it didn't have the mid-gate or anything like that like the Avalanche had. But it had the lockable storage containers on the side, and it had the bed divider in the center of it with the plastic lining. It looked really, really cool. It almost looks like something that they might actually produce. So,
all right, that's cool.
It was interesting.
That would be interesting. Oh, one thing I did want to bring up. Porsche has announced a new version of the Cayenne GTS.
Oh, that's cool.
I think, that fast SUVs are kind of stupid.
No, they're not.
A lot stupid. But I do like anything that Porsche makes that wears the GTS badge. This is just like the old GTS. It's just for the new generation car. So it's lower, a little bit wider, a lot faster. Let's get to the engine here. 3.6-liter V6 twin turbo, 440 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque. It's got their 8-speed automatic, 5-second 0 to 60 run. It'll do 165 or so miles an hour. So I think the fast SUVs are pretty stupid, but I like this one better than the BMW X6M. So yeah, that's the thing that they released. Big and it's angry and it says Porsche on the front. And all the press shots they sent are in red.
Ooh. Hey, do we have any comments on the thing?
On the what thing?
On this podcast.
Oh, no.
Where's Halty?
Oh, let me go double check to see where Halty is. Nope, not a single comment.
You guys suck. We need more activity.
Yeah. We also don't have any questions and answers for this week's show.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you guys want us to actually answer questions, we need questions to answer. We do have a pretty sweet own drive burn this week, though.
Yeah, I like this one. It's tough too.
It's tough. It's annoyingly tough. We have 3 really nice driver-focused sports cars this week. We have the Alfa Romeo 4C, the Lotus Exige S, and the Porsche Cayman S. And I cannot go first because I don't know.
Okay,
I can go first.
You want to go?
Okay, go, Justin, go.
Okay. Well, I'd own the shit out of a Porsche Cayman. So I will take that Porsche Cayman S and I will drive it every single day of my life. It's the perfect Porsche, I think, in my opinion. Between the Alfa Romeo 4C and Exige S, that's very, very hard because both are nice cars that I'd love to drive. I don't think I'll ever get to drive without this opportunity. But I'd have to say I will drive the Alfa Romeo 4C once and burn the Lotus just because maybe just a kick in the pants for Lotus. I don't know.
Yeah, I second you on that. I same thing. I would drive and own the Porsche. I would drive the Alpha once because what an awesome car. And the Lotus, I wouldn't worry about it because it would likely fall apart and the company is somewhat likely to go under. So I'll stick with the two cars. So yeah, I second you on that.
Okay. See, oh God, the Porsche Cayman S is so good, and I've spent time with it, and I've put miles on it, and it's such a good machine. And I used to think it was the best Porsche, but now I don't know if it's the best Porsche.
You
that
and your
911 has you so whipped, man.
So if the Cayman S had more power, that'd probably push me over the edge. But I like the seating position in the 911 better. I like the visibility in the 911 better, and the 911 has more space. So it's more power, more space, easier to drive, and it feels like a 911.
Okay, you were talking about these three cars, not the 911.
I know. So I've not driven the Alfa Romeo or the Lotus, and both are cars I desperately desire to drive. So it's like I keep feeling like I should burn the Porsche because it's the only one here that I've actually driven. But then what am I going to keep every day, and how can I live with myself for setting fire to a Cayman S?
Well, you would drive the Alpha because it's not going to break.
Right. No. If I had to burn the Cayman, so I don't want to burn the Cayman. But if I were to play the game as though, since it's the only one I've driven, it's the one I have to burn, I would drive the Lotus once because that's supposed to be another one like the 911. The Lotus is supposed to be one of those experiences that is like nothing else, and that as a driver you have to experience one time. And then, by all intents and purposes, the 4C has been getting nothing but rave reviews and praise. But you know what? The Alfa Romeo does not come with a manual, so
I was just going to say that.
I'm going to burn the Alfa. I'm going to keep a freaking Cayman S every single day, and I'm going to drive an Exige once.
But what if they brought you the Exige S with the new automatic transmission?
I'm still going to drive it once. I mean, it's the Exige. The car won't exist soon. The company probably won't exist soon.
Yeah, really. I'm only talking about the car.
So
Yeah.
I'll drive a Lotus while I have the chance. I'm sorry, Alpha. Sergio Marcion, if you're listening to me, I love what you've done with the 4C. I think it's an incredible machine. Just in this one small moment, in this one small circumstance, it's gonna maybe be set on fire.
Yeah, I really do like the.
Also, carbon
Lotus
fiber
stuff.
burns really well, so it's the easiest to set on fire.
Nice logic. Wait a
I'm
second.
trying to justify this in some way.
Please don't not put me in rotation for Alpha, please, please, please.
Yeah.
No,
I
see how you
promise I
do it,
won't
how you
burn it.
justify it. How you justify it is, it's well, not currently, but it's sort of related to a Ferrari which likes to burn.
Well, no, it's just that's how I just justify it. It's Italian. It was probably gonna catch on fire anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Anyway, well, I guess that's our show, huh?
Yeah, and hey, we are right on time for once. We're at like 58 and a half minutes right now.
And we covered a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, we did. There's still a lot we didn't cover. I know we already asked you for questions, but again, this is SEMA. If there's a SEMA car we didn't talk about that you want us to talk about, drop it in the comments, and we'll hit it up next week, because there's still going to be a lot of SEMA stuff to talk about next week. So if there's anything you guys want to know about, again, drop it in the comments, or you can hit us on Twitter at TopSpeed Podcast. You can hit us email, podcast@topspeed.com. As always, you can find any one of the three of us directly. I am on Twitter at Moford, Justin is at The Car Junkie, and Mark is at Mark McNabb.
Sure.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you everybody for who is watching, listening, or who will watch or listen later. I love
We
you.
love you.
Please, again, leave us questions, comments, stuff, so it gives us more content for next show. I think I only have one own, drive, burn left, or no own, drive, burns left. So make sure to leave us those suggestions as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show. We're going to play some music. We're going to ease things on out of here. Have a safe, wonderful weekend. We want to see you here next week. So, yeah, enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you guys next time.